In the 1980s, rich people wanted status, right? In the 2000s, it was all about attention. But looking ahead to 2026, well, the absolutely smartest wealthy people are becoming entirely invisible. They work remotely, they completely avoid those flashy luxury signals. Instead, they're quietly building digital assets. And, while most people are completely distracted by the endless turn of online trends, there's a completely new millionaire class forming right underneath the surface of the global economy. The scary part? Most people won't even realize it happened until it's way too late. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to dive into this massive, quiet shift happening in wealth generation right now. So, to understand where we're going, we first kind of have to look at where we've been. Let's look at how success used to be defined. Back in the 80s and 90s, wealth was literally all about the pursuit of status. It was that classic Wall Street era, Corner offices, expensive tailored suits, luxury watches, massive corporate headquarters, the whole shebang. Fast forward to the 2000s and 2010s, and wealth shifted. It became totally tied to the pursuit of attention. We saw the rise of the influencer economy. Success meant broadcasting your life to millions of followers, showing off the sports cars, the exotic vacations. But that era, it's ending. Because by 2026, wealth is becoming completely invisible. This new class of highly successful people has realized that, honestly, attention is often a massive liability. Physical status symbols just tie you down. Today's smartest wealth builders are actively choosing to stay completely off the radar. They don't want the fame. They definitely don't want their neighbors knowing what they make. They are quietly building robust, automated assets right from their laptops and avoiding those traditional luxury signals altogether.
Which brings us to Section 1. The rules have changed, and we are moving past the outdated economy.
If you still think success looks like buying a Lamborghini, renting out a giant office tower, and climbing a rigid corporate ladder, well, you're playing a game that honestly just doesn't exist anymore. You're operating in an outdated economy. Let's look at the old playbook we all got handed. For decades, wealth followed this incredibly predictable formula that society just drilled into us. Step 1, go to a good college. Step 2, get a stable job. Step 3, buy a house with a white picket fence. Step 4, work hard for exactly 40 years. And finally, Step 5, retire safely on your pension and savings. Sounds comforting, right? I mean, it's exactly what our parents and grandparents did. But today, that whole system is literally collapsing in real time. And the data backs this up. According to the World Economic Forum, automation is rapidly replacing repetitive, manual work. But it doesn't stop there, because now generative AI is actively replacing white-collar knowledge work too. Add to that the data from the International Monetary Fund showing how inflation is just ruthlessly eating away the purchasing power of traditional savings. It means traditional careers are becoming incredibly fragile economically. Younger generations in the US, the UK, everywhere really, are finally realizing a critical truth. Just being employed simply does not guarantee wealth or security anymore. So let's look at Section 2, the rise of digital assets, and how to build wealth while you sleep. You see, the new wealthy class doesn't rely on traditional salaries. They know a salary just means trading your limited time for money. Instead, they focus entirely on building assets. But what exactly is a digital asset? Well, it's an online resource, think software, digital content, or an online community that scales infinitely and generates global income 24/7 without your active, continuous labor. You build it once or maybe update it every now and then, and it just works for you around the clock. It's accessible to billions of people with an internet connection anywhere in the world. So, what are these modern wealth vehicles? We're talking about incredibly lucrative YouTube channels, AI-powered businesses, specialized software tools, paid online communities, and fully automated e-commerce systems. Just one successful digital asset can produce income globally while you sleep, while you're traveling, or while you're just hanging out with your family. And this changes absolutely everything. Because for the very first time in human history, one single person sitting at their kitchen table with a laptop can legitimately compete with entire legacy companies. It's wild. There's a foundational concept here that Naval Ravikant hit the nail on the head with. He said, you're not going to get rich renting out your time. You must own equity, a piece of a business, to gain your financial freedom. The invisible millionaires of 2026 understand this on a deep level. They know that as long as they're just renting out their hours for a paycheck, their upside is totally capped. True ownership and leverage, that is the only real path to financial independence. But here is the really dangerous part. And it's why most people are going to completely miss this massive shift. Most of us have been extensively trained by society and media for consumption, not ownership. We're conditioned to just seamlessly consume entertainment, consume the latest products, and chase these fleeting internet trends. I mean, we spend hours just scrolling. But the new wealthy class,
They are entirely focused on ownership. They are spending those exact same hours building systems, creating leverage, and acquiring assets. They are constantly asking themselves one absolutely critical question: how can 1 hour of my work produce value forever? Just think about that for a second. If you write a piece of code, record a video, or build an automated workflow, that single hour of effort can serve millions of people over the next 5 years. That single question is the dividing line. It separates creators from consumers, it separates employees from owners, and eventually, for sure, it's what separates average earners from millionaires. All right, Section 3, the AI gold rush, the next wealth window. Right now, we are living through a once-in-a-generation transfer of wealth and productivity. The AI revolution isn't just some cool tech trend. It is fundamentally rewriting the global economy. Let's look at historical wealth windows. In the 90s, the big window was the adoption of the internet. In the 2000s, it was the explosion of smartphones. In the 2010s, it was social media. And now, in the 2020s, it is absolutely artificial intelligence. Every single technological revolution creates a brand new class of winners, but history proves time and time again that early adopters always benefit disproportionately. The people who are actively learning AI tools today, building content systems, and automating workflows are positioning themselves literally years ahead of the economic curve. And the sheer scale of this is staggering. According to projections by Goldman Sachs, generative AI could raise total global GDP by a massive 7%. That's enough to equate to trillions of dollars of newly created value. Trillions. And the beautiful thing about this digital economy is that this new wealth isn't just going to massive corporations. A huge slice of that pie is being captured by agile individual creators and solopreneurs who know exactly how to wield these new AI tools as leverage. Moving on to Section 4, the psychology of invisible wealth. Designing a life, not an image. So how do these people actually live? Well, the goal here isn't to look rich, it's to actually be rich. It's about designing a life, not carefully curating some fake image for strangers on the internet. Ironically, the new rich often don't look rich at all. They ruthlessly optimize for freedom, time, location independence, and having total optionality in their lives. They just want to wake up and do what they want from anywhere in the world. Conversely, they actively avoid traditional status symbols, the exhausting need for corporate approval, and maintaining those expensive outward appearances. Many of them deliberately drive totally normal cars. They wear simple, unbranded clothes. They work from a quiet home office or a local coffee shop. But behind the scenes, their automated assets are generating more net income than a team of traditional corporate executives. It echoes this brilliant insight from financial writer Morgan Housel. Wealth is the hidden, unspent income. Wealth is what you don't see. Being rich is current income. You see it in the flashy cars and the designer clothes. But true wealth is the money that is intentionally not spent, but rather invested into assets that buy back your freedom. Modern wealth is deliberately hidden. Section 5. What this means for you, the self-education crossroads. So, where does all this leave you? Well, the global economy is shifting way faster than traditional education systems can possibly adapt. You really can't rely on a degree from a decade ago to carry you through the next 3 decades of AI-driven change. Individuals now have to take radical responsibility for their own self-education. You've got to learn high-income digital skills. You have to understand how to prompt and build with AI. You need to build online leverage and create assets instead of just showing up to a 9-to-5. Because the future economy is going to ruthlessly reward adaptability, creativity, and ownership. What it will no longer reward with high pay is simply showing up and being obedient in a repetitive job. Let me put it this way. 10 years from now, there's going to be a massive, unbridgeable divide. There will basically be 2 types of people. Those who use this incredible technology primarily for endless, mindless entertainment, and those who used this exact same technology to build absolute, unshakable financial freedom. And the economic gap between those 2 groups, it's going to be absolutely enormous. The next generation of millionaires is already being created right now. They're doing it quietly, they're doing it digitally, and they're doing it globally. So the big question is, will you recognize this shift early enough to actually participate in it, or will you just sit back and watch it happen from the sidelines? The choice is entirely yours. But if you want to make sure you are on the right side of this economic divide, you need to stay informed and keep learning. Make sure to subscribe to Path to Success for deep, actionable insights into wealth, business, artificial intelligence, and navigating the future economy. We break down the complex shifts happening in the world so you can build your own digital assets. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.